Okay, we are live again. Hey, I'm so happy to be here, everyone. We are live again on the Women into Networking Win channels. We're talking to Miss Sophia Gethers about being the voice behind the movement of what we're doing at the conference next year, Women Empowering Generations. I don't know if you got your tickets yet, but I'm looking at this back end and I'm like, listen, people are understanding the power of bringing all generations into one room. Okay, and I was just sharing with Sophia some of the things that I was struggling with it. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that, I bond with my family. I talk to the generations. We literally sit at a kitchen table, guys, and it's like 5 generations at a kitchen table. That's crazy. But we learn from each other. We grow from each other. So we're going to learn from Miss Sophia here. And I want her to introduce herself first. And then we're going to talk about her as a speaker at the conference. And I want to break down a couple of things that I feel like we need to talk about today. Go ahead, Sophia. You have the mic.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again, Allegra, for inviting me on the platform again. I appreciate you and I admire you very much for the things that you do. So, like you say, I am Sophia Gethers. I am the owner and founder of 2 businesses, Freedom Zone Life Coaching and Counseling. And I have a nonprofit organization called Petals Women's Empowerment, which is an acronym: Pray, Encourage, Teach, Affirm, and Loving Sisters. And we help women overcome mental wellness, financial literacy. We bring in on a component to engage men and women together to have healthy conversations about relationships and what it means to show up as individuals. And all things mental wellness that help us stay stuck in life. We teach you how to overcome them. So that is what we do. Yes.
I love that so much. And we know everything starts with the mind. So we love the fact that we get to impact that through women. And I remember being a part of one of your workshops. Thank you so much for allowing me to help you. Just be there for women entrepreneurs because you have moms, you have a lot of things that are happening in the world. So thank you for spearheading a lot of that for us. Now let's talk about the conference because we know that we're gearing up for the conference, y'all.
We're excited.
Every time I have to speak about it now, it has built and evolved into something just like it's like watching your kid grow up. I guess I don't have any kids, but I'm just assuming. Okay, so I want to hear what has evolved for you since you became a speaker for the conference.
Ooh, that is a loaded question.
Well, let's just say from a speaker standpoint.
From a speaker standpoint, a lot has happened, a lot of opportunities. I've been nominated for Miss Corporate America. I have been able to talk with one of the local judges to bring Petals into the court system. I have also been offered to go to Rome, Italy to speak at a conference. A lot. That's why I say it's a loaded question. I've also been invited as one of the chairpersons to sit on the board for mental health for Fayette County. So there has been a lot going on since we talked maybe 3 weeks ago. Yeah, a lot has happened. I had another huge donor to donate to my nonprofit organization. So when I tell you God is showing up and showing out, yeah, that is when we do what we need to do and doing it while scared, endless opportunities happen and it finds you. You don't have to go looking for it. Yeah.
That's a lot. That's pretty powerful. So you've gotten so many opportunities as a speaker, and I know that there's so many other areas of expertise that you have. But being on a stage and being able to impact so many lives, right? We know how powerful that is. What are some of the things that you look forward to bringing into the room? And I know we asked this question before, but as far as evolution is concerned, it was only 2 weeks ago. Okay. Yeah. And now we're here. So let's revisit that feel and that movement at the conference so people know when they walk in the room, what they're going to feel when they're around you.
They really don't want to miss the conference. Whether I'm speaking or someone else is speaking, there will be a lot of information that everyone will walk away feeling inspired. But particularly for the things that I talk about is how do we strengthen our mental health? And it's cliche, it's a stigma when we say talk about anything mental health. I like to give it a softer approach that everyone struggles or have challenges with their mental capacity. Based upon the terms that we use, it can be a daunting conversation, but it can be a gratifying and a conversation that we can have to enlighten each other because it's not talked about enough. And mental health has such a bad name that a lot of people are afraid to say, hey, if we have something wrong with, our hearts, or we feel like we're about to pass out, we go to the hospital. But when do we ever have conversations to say, hey, my mind has a cold today, right? Can I go and get support with that and not feeling like I'm being shrinked or therapized? It's not about that. It's about how can I show up in my mind as healthy as possible. So I am trying to soften the conversations of mine around mental wellness because it's not a scary thing. It's what the average human being faces every day. The simple thing as anxiety and depression that every human being experiences. Why not educate yourself on how to overcome it? Minus the shame and judgment. Yeah.
I'm literally like, oh, I'm trying not to rock. It's like the stimming for me.
Yes.
um, Sophia, every time I get in a room with you, I always know that and thank you for acknowledging it. You have so many amazing speakers, guys. You're going to get so much from this conference. However, I will say that the conversation around making your mental health just as important as your physical.
Yes.
I've heard that. I've said that. I think it is stressful. Okay. But I also think it's doable. And I'll say this before we'll go down it real quick. Guys, make sure that you follow Sophia and get to know more about what she's doing. Because sometimes we normalize things. Like I just told y'all this morning, I had all this stuff coming. Well, I didn't tell y'all, I told Sophia. This morning I woke up early and my brain is like doing all this stuff. And I'm literally, because I'm aware, started speaking in my head to my brain and saying, you don't have control of me. But isn't the brain so tricky?
Oh, it's so disrespectful. It's like what I like to call it. You either face with stinking thinking or the disrespect of your mind just going all over the place without your permission. And I like to create funny analogies when we talk about the brain and how your thoughts can disrespect you to allow people to understand that when we can talk to ourselves in our brain to make it calm down and to align it back to the present moment, you've already crossed over a lot of obstacles there. Because how often do we wake up and I guess we talked about this earlier, that your mind goes straight to something that happened years ago. Doesn't have anything to do with the present moment. That's the disrespect. What I'm talking about. How often do that foolishness live in our mind rent free? Like your mind should pay you for some of the foolishness that come up. So I like to give it a different approach as to dog. People can say, wow, I experienced that because I allow the conversations to meet the person wherein you get a better understanding of how your mind can play tricks on you. What you think and what you feel can be totally polar opposite. How can you align them together and put a name with what you're feeling and actually ask yourself, do I have evidence of what I'm thinking? Most of the time we don't, because our minds play tricks on us and it creates scenarios that's very false. So treating the mind a lot lighter than what we do and creating a space to give ourselves permission to say, hey, I want to think this way. And instead of our minds controlling us, I teach people how to make you control your mind. And it's totally two different things.
Whew, y'all, listen. It's like you have to have surgery on your own mind.
Yes.
Thank you for breaking that down. And this is from someone who works in a field where people are constantly working through, right, mental health struggles. When you guys come to the conference, I see some of our speakers are here. Hey, Nisa, thank you for being in the building. Please make sure you drop a hi. Let us know you're here. And also connect with Sophia, because as we're leading to the conference, she got so many speaking engagements. Y'all, I need to go check my books. Like, make sure I check my emails. That's some good stuff. But that just shows when you show up for opportunities show up for you.
Absolutely.
And also just the fact that everything starts with that mind. So if we're not even aware of it, and I love how you brought that up, it's like you got to first be aware that it's happening,
Mhm.
you know? And then once you do that, you can do something about it. So Sophia is a resource for that. Make sure you connect with her. Also, I would love to tone it down a little bit because I want Sophia to kind of just like chime in on some of the health matters because we're holiday season. And this is why I wanted to segue into this, Sophia, from earlier. It popped in my head like, oh my God, we need help. Like we really do need to know that it's okay. It's okay, that we're going through a lot. I mean, sometimes we don't even count the cost of what we go through.
Mhm.
So, is there anything that comes up for you that you would like to say, as something that you see a lot in today's, time at holiday time, and what we can do to kind of regulate that, whether it's emotional, physical, mental. But I'm leaning more on the mental side. Is there anything that's coming up right now that you see a lot, and just your advice for that?
Yes. So with the mental, it comes with a level of physical also because you can get mentally fatigued and it can be similar as physical fatigue. But when you have a combination of both, now we're talking about anxiety and depression. And there's levels of depression and it should be levels of anxiety. But once an anxiety attack hits you, you are maybe in fight, flight, freeze, or fawn mode. So, what is your response? Can you identify the difference between anxiety, depression, and pure laziness or procrastination? Because there are differences too. Sometimes we blame procrastination on depression or anxiety is when our minds or our body is trying to tell us to do better and we talk ourselves out of it. We create a space of anxiety. And then when we talk ourselves out of taking that next level and it doesn't happen the way we want, we get frustrated with life. So it's like a catch 22. What do you want? And a lot of mental health disparities that we go through, a lot of them can be prevented based upon if you're willing to educate yourself. Just as we educate ourselves in school from grade school to from elementary to middle and high, we have to look at our mental health in the same way. How much are you willing to educate yourself on how to overcome appropriate coping mechanisms? Because it's easy to go to grab a bottle or smoke. Those are levels of coping, but they're not healthy coping because it only masks the issue for a certain period of time. And then if you're using that to cope consistently, now you have a level of addiction. So would you rather have a healthy coping mechanism that you can use with a snap of a finger, or would you choose to use something that shortens your lifespan and it deteriorates the way you think? So most times when we go through disparities, the simple thing is noticing your heart rate. Simple thing is noticing if your hands get clammy. And sometimes people, like stemming your rock, trying to figure out what is going on. If we learn to listen to our bodies, it will tell you what it's going through, but you can't always respond to what your body is feeling because your mind will tell you, oh, I'm going crazy. No, you're not going crazy. For one, you might be mentally stressed. You could be emotionally stressed. You could be financially stressed. You can be socially stressed. And then you can be malnourished, which is a level of stress. So when you have a lot of combinations of these things, sometimes you would have to take some type of medication to bring you back to an alignment. But how often do we starve ourselves from lack of nutrients that also have a lasting effect on how your brain thinks? So a lot of things are in combination. So if you're eating chips and Doritos and drinking soda 24/7, more than likely you're not going to show up in your best mental health space. So a lot of these things work together conjointly is because we don't take care of ourselves. So the most thing that I see is people are experiencing a high level of anxiety because we are uneducated on the symptoms. We are uneducated on this space wherein anxiety and depression doesn't have a color, it doesn't have a gender, it doesn't have a name or an age. It's so disrespectful that it will attack anybody at any given moment. So it doesn't matter who you are, what you are. So if we are compounding on past traumas, if we are compounding on sour relationships and your own personal issues, sometimes we got to take a step back and say, okay, what am I contributing that's exacerbating my anxiety? What am I going through? Because certain generations or a certain class of people rake too much under the rug. It's okay to expose things. It is okay to say, I am not okay. It is okay to say, I need support. But when you're seeking that support and coming out of that denial phase, connect with someone that will meet you where you are. That's non-judgmental, that will help you cross over that threshold and basically guide you, hold you accountable in the most loving way. Because you can't trust everybody in your space to make you feel worse than what you already feel. So just like you just won't put on anything when you wake up to go out to work, you just don't put on any type of mentality. It's about showing up as your best self, but giving yourself permission to take that phase without embarrassment. There's no need to be embarrassed if we struggle with anxiety or depression because it's a real thing. You didn't ask for it. So why accept something that you didn't ask for? And actually, human beings can actually give you mental health issues based upon how much you accept from people. And a lot of times we don't realize that. Family can cause mental health issues, relationships, even your job can cause you mental health issues. Road rage can cause you mental health issues. But it's one of those conversations that we are afraid to talk about. And I am trying my best to break that stigma, to have healthy conversations, because I promise you that anything that I bring up, it resonates with somebody in some shape, way, or form. They just haven't had the opportunity to have healthy conversations about it. So that's where I come in, to lighten the conversations and to take away the stigma behind why do we struggle the way we struggle. It's because we're uneducated about how we feel, think, and how we process things. That's the narrative of overcoming mental health.
Just like, wow.
Yeah.
Y'all, listen. Um, Cynthia said, clock it. Come on, Sophia. I can't even put the comments up quick enough. Y'all got so and I'm also here. If y'all see me rocking, she's right. Like, I know I do a stemming process, and sometimes it could be for different reasons, but right now there is such a peaceful joy, but excitement just rising up inside of me. Because number one, when we come into the room for the conference, this is what y'all get plus 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 plus. Just being able to be around Sophia and understand what that looks like, and also that she works with people every day that deal with mental health concerns. And I myself just shared with her something that happened this morning, and she's like, "Yeah, that happens. It's disrespectful." I was like, right? That is disrespectful.
Mhm.
So talking to our brains, talking to ourselves, being okay and being in alignment with who we are, and then actually speaking back to what that is, I think is so good. Y'all, we do have to tune this down because I hear y'all in the comments. I hear y'all shouting in the comments. Nice to say exclamation, 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 facts.
Yeah.
All right, we do have to go. I appreciate everything you said. I just wanted to make sure I paid attention to some of our viewers. Ricole is another speaker. Thank you for coming. She said, yes, the WIN community is a space for me. Cynthia Ellis said, that's so true. She just had a friend tell me we're diffusing in 2026 and no longer feeding the tension. I hope I got that right. Go down there a little bit. And I love that because this space, it is the WIN communities for me too, because in these safe spaces we get to have the conversations. Because one thing you said popped up, and it's the last thing I'll say before you give us our words to take away. My 92-year-old grandmother was part of solid generation. Okay, I told Sophia there's 5 generations sometimes that sits at our breakfast table, right? I'm with my nana, my mom, and my niece and my sister comes in there. We're literally, right, maybe 3 days out of the week get to do that. That's a blessing.
Yes.
When I get to sit with my 92-year-old nana, and sometimes this is what I'll have to do, guys. I have to rub her hand to calm her nervous system,
Mhm.
and I have to say, Nana, it's okay to share.
Yeah.
Because in their generation, it was not okay.
Mm.
Think about the mental, confusion. So go ahead, Sophia, anything you would like to leave us with, because I definitely got blessed today. But I'll take what you said and really, you utilize what you're teaching us now, leading all the way up to the conference, and hopefully we get some more there. And also for you guys that haven't gotten your tickets, you can see clearly we're going to be healing a lot in that room. Any final takeaways and what you want to leave us with?
Absolutely. So the final takeaway would be don't leave 2025 and go into 2026 with the same patterns and on that same hamster wheel, right? Leave the past in the past, create a space to experience a new future. And it is okay to say, I do not want to approach my new season with baggage. So in order to do that, connect with people that who can help you overcome, but in a non-judgmental capacity, because you can't heal in the space that broke you. So if you find a space where someone can help you, or even myself can help you transition, it's okay. But you have to want it. You can't just say it, but you have to want the change. You have to have enough motivation within yourself to say, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. So show up today like you want to enter into 2026. I mean, what, we have less than 48 hours, well, what, 2 days less? I don't even know what the day is, right? We'll have less than 2 days. So it's all about a mindset reset shift. If you no longer want to move into 2020, and here's the significance of 2026. Most people don't realize that 26 is the level of restoration. It's a level of renewal. So if we look at the timing of what the year is, and actually 2027 is the year of completion. So 2025 is a reckoning, helping you to overcome. And I'm sure a lot of people have went through a lot of hell and high waters in 2025. This was the year of grooming, separating the weak from the strong. So in 2026, all that you went through in 2025, you should not want to take it into 2026. 2026 is shaping, molding, refining. So now you have 12 months to take it to another level. So by 2027, you'll receive everything back where you thought was stolen from you. So how are you going to show up? How are you going to show up in 2026? Some of those friends that you used to hang around, they can't take it with you to the next level. It's okay to let them go. Certain family members, you can't have healthy conversations with them because broke people want to be around broke people. If you want to be somewhere on the next level, sometimes you got to cut the root where it is, start out fresh. It's lonely at the top, but I promise you, can't nobody bring you down when you're at the top. So that's all I wanted to leave with you. If you want to show up as your best self, you got to show up and do it even while scared. And I promise you, you will see a tremendous change if you just show up as you desire to be. Affirm yourself. Allow yourself not to stay in stinking thinking because your brain is very disrespectful to you. So you control your brain and your brain should not control you. And I can teach you how. So that's all I have.
Sorry, Nysa threw her shoe across the room, honey. I wanted to get up. Thank you for that. Yes, honey, she preached today. We are definitely going to walk into this conference with authority. So thank you so much, Sophia, for giving us that motivation, inspiration, also that confidence. Thank you all for joining us. I see y'all in the virtual building, and I see you guys are getting your tickets too. And I know that I will be able to, be a part of this experience with you in the room. I'm excited because as the leader and the organizer, it's different up here, right? Because like all the moving pieces. But when we get together and we have these conversations, y'all, it makes so much sense as to why we do what we do. And so thank you so much, Sophia. Make sure you guys join us for our next live stream. We'll have some more individuals coming up in the next week. We also want to wish you a happy new year because I think this is the last time we're going to see Sophia on a live stream before next year. So thank you so much for those words for next year as well. Y'all have an amazing night and we will see y'all later. Be blessed.